Good morning. How was the week? How was last night? Thank you, our youth dancing and Japanese choir. I really inspired, especially Lena. Thank you. Everybody was so professional. All boy and girls, all kids are fantastic dancing. Yeah. Today, the sermon title is "The Role of Connection is the Process of Giving and Receiving Action." Today, I want to use the word give and receive action instead of give and take action. No matter how much knowledge we have, it is difficult to resurrect our hearts through knowledge alone. God created the world to have an object pattern of love. As His sons and daughters, we also need to live for the sake of others and spread joy to others. However, how do we do this? Well, I believe that one way that we can resurrect our hearts and live for the sake of others is to engage in true, sustainable give and receive action. Give and receive action is a cyclical process. There is no beginning or end, but it is in constant motion. This makes sense because many of our interactions and relationships in life are constantly moving and evolving. Give and receive action is not a balanced scale where we start placing weights on each side to see who has given more or who has received more. I'm sure we have all done this before, and if we truly reflect, some of our current relationships may operate this way. For example, statements such as, "Hey, honey, I did the dishes last night. Now it's your turn. It's only fair that way." Or, "I took care of grandma all last week. Now it's your why don't you give her a visit and spend time with her this week?" Sound familiar to us? We all, to some degree, have a mental scale or calculate telling up how much time, money, and resources we have given, and we expect others to do the same. However, this system is neither sustainable nor fulfilling. It usually leaves us feeling resentful and disconnected from others. However, there is a secret ingredient to give and receive action that is everlasting and fulfilling. Do you want to know what that is? Yes? True. Sustainable give and receive action is not possible without genuine connection. I am sure we have all felt this before, where we start giving and our time and resources to someone that we do not have a strong and genuine connection with, or to someone we do have a connection with. But it is not growing deeper. Eventually, the relationship may start to feel one-sided and we are left feeling empty and stunted in our growth with that person. Genuine connection is like a smooth, paved bridge between the subject and object partner. We can glide easily back and forth, sharing freely with little to no barriers to reach one another. On the other hand, connection that is not genuine is like an old swaying bridge. You can imagine a bridge that is not well supported. It's missing some steps here and there, and it looks about ready to collapse any minute. Crossing this bridge seems scary and difficult, so staying on our bridge seems more comfortable. Raise your hand if you have felt this way and have wanted to avoid crossing the bridge to give to a person we have a rocky connection with. I definitely have. However, there is hope because all bridges can be fixed, reconstructed, and renewed, right? In this way, our rocky connections can also be renewed to more genuine connections. There are three tools to reconstruct our bridges or connections to those that are strong and genuine. The first tool or strategy to building genuine connection is to meet others where they are. This means that we put aside our own expectations or desires for the other person, and we instead try to understand the person from where they are currently in their emotions and experiences. Using the bridge metaphor, instead of asking the other person to come on over to our side, we may first choose to go over to their side. We all experience hardships and struggles in life at various points, and it can be difficult to give during these moments. We just want to be comforted, to have someone to talk to and receive love and support from, and for someone to listen and validate our emotions. When we have someone who meets us where we are by seeing us first, sitting with us in our dark spaces, and says, everything will be okay. I'm here for you with and I love you. This is exactly what it means to meet somebody where they are. We have to be sensitive to and notice how other people are feeling, what they are going through, and what supports they may need to be lifted. This is the first tool to build a strong, genuine connection with someone. The second tool is something we can use to connect and reach individuals who often have closed doors or closed hearts. Trying to knock constantly and yelling for these individuals will only make them more annoyed and less likely to open up. Instead, we need a tool or strategy that will enable them to open the door for us. The second tool is to find and latch on to common ground, common values, and shared experiences. Have you ever met somebody who constantly talks about themselves and you cannot seem to relate to this person's experiences, interests, or values whatsoever? It is extremely difficult to connect deeply with individuals like this, and we are less likely to open our hearts and share with individuals like this. Instead, we tend to connect deeply when we find commonalities in our hobbies, interests, life experiences, values, and more. This makes a lot of sense, and it is important to keep in mind that we can all find something, even one thing, that we have in common with a person with a closed door or closed heart. Even if you disagree with a person's opinions or choices in life, and even if a person seems cold and rejecting, we can all search for and find something that you both share together. Whether it's your shared love for your family and friends, valuing your health or hard work, going through similar financial, existential struggles, or even sharing a dislike for fancy teeny foods on large plates. So remember, find common ground and don't let it go. with time, a closed door will surely open. Let's take a look at the example of true father's time in Hungnam Prison, North Korea, a place where practicing faith is difficult. In prison, there was nothing but labor and eating. Father said that the only two things that touched the prisoner's heart were food and labor. Since there was no freedom to talk and preach his messages, he captured the prisoners' hearts through sharing food, doing work for them. In this way, true father gained the trust and connected with the prisoners through finding common ground. Even in such a place, true father was able to inspire those around him through his actions. Moved by father's selfless actions, one prisoner even received a revelation from his ancestors to take care of the young man. And like this, true father gained 12 disciples in prison. The disciples were in a position where they sincerely loved true father. The third tool for building genuine connection is to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is not weakness or being helpless, but it is the opposite. Being vulnerable by lowering your walls, opening your door, and sharing difficult emotions and experiences to another person indicates strength and power. It conveys the message that it's okay to feel these emotions and it's okay to fail and to struggles. When you are vulnerable and share tough emotions, it creates a space that lets the other person know that you trust them. That it's okay to be struggling, and it invites the other person to share their own vulnerabilities with you, either in the moment or later on. It is understandably hard to share struggles that we are potentially embarrassed about, ashamed of, feel anger towards, or stirs other negative emotions within us. This is why when you want to be vulnerable, you can do so whenever you are ready and as much as you want to share. The important thing is not what you share and how much you share, but that you are giving someone else a glimpse of you, which often tends to be tucked away and masked. It is this genuine and honest you that you share that softens the other person to open up. This is how we deepen and sustain our connections. So, to summarize, give and receive action is a cycle where we can share time, resources, and love back and forth with multiple object partners in our life. However, true give and receive action that is everlasting depends on relationship being rooted in genuine connection. Give and receive action with relationships that are rocky may collapse over time. Therefore, I talked about 3 tools that can help to rebuild these connections. First, meet others where they are. This means to understand where the other person is in their current position and offering comfort, support, and love rather than asking them to give their time or resources to you because you expect or desire them. By doing this, next time when you are in a tough position, this person is more likely to do the same for you. The second tool is to find and latch on to common ground, common values, and another person, and the shared experiences. People open up more easily when they can relate to someone else. So before you start sharing about your faith, God, and the true parents to another person, first find the general common ground that links both of you together. When you build this relationship organically in this way, eventually the spirit world will guide you along. Last but not least, the third tool is to practice being vulnerable, sharing your honest and true self. Let the other person know that you trust them and that their honest and true self is also valuable. It creates a space where they feel comfortable sharing their struggles, emotions, and it opens the door to exchange love more freely. Using these 3 tools, let us all start to engage in everlasting give and receive action with our spouses, children, parents, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and strangers. This is the start of cultivating harmonious and healthy relationships and communities. We need to practice it daily because it is up to us to apply and use these tools to build the connections. I challenge everyone here to start today. Practice these skills with those that are close to us, and then branch out to individuals who are more difficult or less close to us. Over time, we can bring joy, even to those who carry emotional and spiritual baggage. We ourselves can become role models to inspire others to engage in this form of give and receive action. We have now entered December, a time where we need to reflect on 2019 and prepare for 2020. In the new year, we need to restore our original nature through practicing true give and receive action and rebuilding genuine connections. In this way, we unite our mind and body, unite subject and object partners, unite families and communities, and ultimately establish true harmony and peace. Thank you. Join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent and true parents, we have entered the last month of 2019, and soon we will embark on a new year in 2020. Let us all use the last days of this month to reflect on our past year, filled with new and exciting experiences as well as struggles, difficulties, and losses. Let us also reflect on our past mindset and attitude towards give and receive action, and how this impacted our relationships. Were we using a balanced scale to measure the quality of our relationships? Were our bridges with others often sky and rocky? If so, may it is time for us to start rebuilding these bridges through genuine and honest connections. We can do this by practicing meeting others where they are, searching for common ground, common values, and shared experiences, and being vulnerable by opening up. When we start to apply these skills with every project partners, every object partner in our lives, we will ultimately receive so much more blessing, love, and fulfillment in life. Thank you always for your limitless love and hope for us. We pray that the end of this year and the start of the new year will be a triumphant turning point towards harmony and peace within us and our communities. I pray in the name of Jong, the owner of Chanilguk. Amen and Aju. Thank you.